guys, Kathy Richards, RD hopping on. So if you followed my stories yesterday, I said hop on, stay tuned because I was going to share something exciting with you. So it's something that's exciting that I'm going to share, but it's also like stepping outside of my comfort zone. So for anyone um, that does mindset work or follows business coaches, or you're running a business yourself, sorry, I'm going to stop touching my hair. You'll know that they say your success lives outside your comfort zone. So I want to hop on and share something and be really real with you guys today. So I'm going to admit that it's scary for me to come on and share with you, but I'm going to almost put myself in the seat of like a client. When they come to me for help, this is how I imagine that they feel too. Okay, so first off, I'd like to say happy Valentine's Day. I was set to launch or start my Craving Change program today as a way to show themselves self-love. I was encouraging people to come in and join the group. I didn't show up enough to get the enrollment for the program to run, and sitting with it, I wasn't really ready, and I'll share a bit about that with you guys today too. So it's not easy for me to admit this. If you hop on, say hi. If you have any questions or if you have anything specific you want to know, pop it in the comments because I'm happy to come back and share with you guys. So I wanted to set you up and tell you, yeah, it's time for me to admit something. So I was working with my business coach this week on Voxer. We're talking. I'm in a amazing mastermind with some other amazing women who are getting great results. And since I've joined the mastermind, I've had great results too. I've had a new client join me every week. So that is the abundance that I was seeking in the Elevated Abundance Mastermind. I've also been having new clients in my work, so lots of abundance coming in the form of clients. But when we were talking in Voxer about why I wasn't showing up consistently and what that really came down to, because in my 9 to 5, in my regular work, I don't need to be everywhere. The providers know my service. They know I've got 20 years of experience. They know my clients get results, so they just continuously refer to me. And it's not uncommon in the past that I would have like a 3-month waiting list. So I'm going to step into the seat of the client when they come to see me, and I'm going to share with you guys over the next number of months my journey to getting back to my best health. So if you don't know me or you haven't been following me for a while, I'll introduce myself and I'll tell you a bit of the story that's gotten me to where I am. So I'm a registered dietitian. I've been practicing for over 20 years. I've had quite a varied experience. I started out in an acute care hospital, like calculating total parenteral nutrition, so quite complex stuff, doing a mat leave when I first graduated. That was really challenging. It was a great way to get into the profession, but I knew my role wasn't going to be in an acute care setting where people are really sick. That's not the place to educate and help them. It's just basically like getting them through that time. So when I left that job, I actually went in to work in the prison system for a number of years. And again, that was totally different. I had one-on-one interaction with the inmates to help educate them, provide them some therapeutic diet approaches that they needed. But again, it wasn't really speaking to how I wanted to work with people and be able to help them really make changes. Their ability to change their food intake and stuff is a bit, a bit small, depending. So then I worked with the Department of National Defense at the exact same time. And that was quite amazing because you give those people one thing to do and they come back and they've done it and they're like, okay, what comes next? So that was a really unique experience as well. I also worked in long-term care, which my heart was really in that, helping people in the end stages of their life that needed extra support, and just really finding out some neat things about people in the long-term care centers. Some of the residents, they all are different people, right? Different personalities, often quite pleasant. And that was really a great way to help people as well. Then I worked at a preventative health clinic, and as well as like a family health team, which I'm still in a family health team, a different one now. But the prevention health clinics are cool because people are paying for a service. So where I live in Canada, we have great healthcare. We have access to providers, more so now in the province I live, for nutrition through their doctors and how they form teams. But at the time when I worked in that prevention space, we didn't have access necessarily to um, doctors as easily. So that was people actually paying out of pocket, putting their health first, and coming to get like an overall prevention plan. And I had a role in that. I also did that in an executive health clinic when I relocated. So lots of experience over the years. So then it comes to this week when I'm talking with my business coach in Voxer, and I have to really sit with like why I'm not really showing up as much as I know that I need to have the turnover and have the response of my clients online. And when it came down to it, I had to admit to myself that I don't feel I'm in my best place health-wise, and that's impacting how I show up for people. So I'll take you through kind of what's happened over the last few years. My weight has changed. If you know me or if you follow me for a while, I've never been like a skinny dietitian. That's not my focus. My focus is on being healthy and being able to have the energy to do the things that I want to do. And I've always kind of lived that way. So weight-wise, I never really focused on weight loss throughout my adult years. I never needed to go on a diet. I enjoyed going to the gym and exercising. I like to move and I like to eat. So that would just kind of balance out. My weight always was fairly stable. Then I got a dog at one point, just adding consistent activity every day. I lost 15 pounds without intentionally doing that. And when I got married, 10 years ago now, I was at my lowest weight, and that's about 30 pounds less than what I weigh right now. Then I had 3 kids in a span of 5 years. My weight fluctuated with that. My weight went up. After my first baby, like within a month, I was back at my pre-pregnancy weight without doing anything special, just being a mom, breastfeeding, and, doing what I could. So at that point, sleep would have been minimal, and stress would have been a bit higher as well. So then fast forward a number of years, and for the past 2 years, so in between I had pregnancies, my weight would go up and down, but always kind of came back around the same weight, which was 10 pounds above my my weight 10 years ago, so about 20 pounds from where I am now. And that was good. I was not sleeping as much because I had young kids. I was on the move. I was back at work. I was doing lots of things, so that felt fine. Then 2 years ago, actually this week, something happened that would change like how my body would respond to stress, and it would change my kind of weight trajectory. So 2 years ago this week, I had a concussion. I'm still recovering from the concussion. I had some nausea this morning. That's why I took a little bit to get on today to share with you guys. But the after effects of the concussion were decreased movement. I had to stay in a dark space for quite a few months without really doing much. I'm someone that likes to learn things and listen to things. I'm always listening to podcasts and things, but when your brain is upset, it's like nope, puts on the brakes, and you can't do any of that stuff. So that happened. Before the concussion happened, though, I had bronchitis. I was pushing through. At that point, my spouse at the time, my ex-spouse, was off with anxiety for, I don't know, a number of months. I would get to work at my 9 to 5, and by 8:30 when I got there, I would already be like exhausted, stressed, probably had an argument on the way to work, and I was kind of just holding it together. Then I got bronchitis. But being the person that was going to work and supporting my family and doing all the things, all the meals, everything, I had to keep going. So I had bronchitis, took some medication, and after a few days I pushed through and I went back to work. Then that weekend I got concussion. In hindsight, I think it was just the universe saying, enough is enough, you need to stop. So I was concussed and in recovery for that for quite a while. I did try a couple different approaches with work, which worked to help me with my recovery. So I'll tell you about that too. Then February, so 3 months after I got my concussion, I was still like early in my recovery. A family member at the time suddenly had a terminal illness. I kind of had to take over and be the woman of the family because the two men um, that were in that family really couldn't function without their kind of leader. So I had to step up and take care of a lot of stuff that way. That sequentially led to the breakdown of my marriage, um, which is stress in itself, right? In that time, my mother also got diagnosed with cancer, and she's since passed away. Her prognosis was 24 months. She lived 6 months, so that was some stress and up and down of what's happening when you're not in the same city. Then I moved 2 years ago this month, and I had 4 days to pack my stuff, and I was kind of like gathering stuff, but doing it in hiding because when you have young kids, they can't get the concept of time. So telling them that you're moving doesn't really mean much until like it's actually happening. So all the advice that we had looked at had said like give them like 4 days notice or a week's notice. So I told them on the Monday and had to move on the Saturday. So that was stressful to get all my stuff kind of ready, got most of it ready and able to move out. And then it's, that resettling time. You've got young kids. I've got 3 young kids, 4, 7, and 8 right now. And we had to resettle, learn about mom's house, dad's house, change of routines. So that's stress in itself. Then the pandemic hit. So again, that was just more stress. The pandemic for me was actually kind of a blessing in disguise because it gave me more time to sit with my feelings, sit with the grief that was happening because of the end of my marriage, because of my mom's illness, and then her eventual passing. Whereas before, I was like kind of that busy person. I would always be going, going, going. Like when I had a business, I had so many contracts. I was working 7 days a week, but I loved it. I like to be busy. So typically, I could see during a divorce, if the pandemic wasn't happening, I would be traveling out of city and seeing lots of my friends that live in previous cities on the weekends. That didn't happen because it was pandemic, right? So then in the summer, my mom passed in the spring. Then in the summer, I got back on my bike. So that was the first time in a long time. When you have young kids, you're not always out on your bike. Plus, because of my concussion, I was afraid I would get dizzy. So I got back on that bike and started doing some bike rides. To be 100% honest, the motivation for me to take care of my best health, even as a registered dietitian, I know all this stuff. I walk my clients through it. It wasn't there because I was in grief and I was not motivated. I was, having a lot of feelings come up. So the biggest thing I did was to give myself grace. This is okay. This is how it's going to be. Things are not always going to be like this. Then we had to move again. My house got sold that I had rented, thinking I would rent it and stay there for a number of years. It was a great spot location-wise, in approximation to my ex-husband's house. Then we had to move again. And then when we were moving, my ex-spouse got COVID and gave it to the kids, and then I got COVID. So we moved, had no access to any technology because they wouldn't set us up because we had COVID contact. Fair enough. And then we came into our new house for 2 weeks with no internet, 3 kids, resettling again to a new location, and we couldn't go outside. So that in itself is stress as well. So the impact of stress is huge, and it's something I've been working on with my clients over the last year, is even when we don't think we have stress, our body will show us that we do. So I was denying the stress in my marriage and that I needed to kind of move on. And at that point, a year and a half ago, I got shingles. Okay, so, and previous to that, whenever I had more stress, I would get hives. I just recently went back to my 9 to 5 in addition to serving my clients, and I got full body hives again. And that's just the body's way of saying hello, like I'm not happy, things are not working. So your body will give you the feedback. And another way that the body actually responds to stress is to help you hang on to weight because it doesn't know what's happening. It's trying to keep you safe, the hormonal changes. So in your trunk, you might gain a lot of weight. So if you see my reel that I did yesterday, about loving myself. In that reel, I showed you what my body looks like. I did a little dance, and that's just to show you we can, like, I haven't even really changed my food intake. I can't say I'm sitting like binging on bags of chips. I still eat fairly healthy. I do recognize that I eat less often when I don't have my kids with me, so that's something to work on. Um, but even without like a big change in caloric intake, our body is trying to keep us safe, and those hormones will change, and we see more weight gain in the tummy and stuff. So in the summer, I had my naturopath that I work with do blood work. All my things came back normal. I've been taking calm supplements. I've been doing things like meditation, things to remind my body that it's safe and it can be calm. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you guys through for the next couple of months, my journey to getting back to my healthiest. So I'm going to look at mindset. It's how I work with my clients. So we focus on mindset. We focus on symptoms. So I do have more gas and more bloating. So I know as a registered dietitian what I should do to reduce that and the stress that my body's under and how I can help it. So I'll be incorporating that, and I'll be hopping on, I'll be doing vlogs. I might be coming live. I might be doing it in my stories. So stay tuned and keep a lookout, because you'll see every day kind of what I'm working through in getting back to my healthiest self. Mindset's going to be huge. I've started to do regular meditation. So I'm going to walk you guys through the process of how I would do it with a client, and you can see my journey. I'm not just going to post like what I ate today, but I'm going to really get in and give you guys some really like nitty-gritty details. Like, man, I had negative self-talk today. That kind of got me off track. I didn't really feel good. How I would get back in my body and how I would focus on that. In the last couple of years, I've really invested in help around like courage living. So I have an intuitive coach who that's her practice, and it's really about getting back into your body, recognizing how you're feeling, and being able to kind of move through things. So one of the big things I've gained from her is recognizing when people respond to me in a way that I might not like, it's really because I've triggered their beliefs about themselves, and that trigger, it usually has nothing to do with what I've done. So I shared that in a post quite a few months ago about someone commenting that I was showing too much cleavage on some of my videos, when I was really just like giving myself a big pat on the back for showing up and being consistent and wanting to share with people. And then I hid for a while because I had to kind of process and go through that. But my coach is helping me see like that's their belief. Yeah, they're triggered, but we don't have to have that response. And we can just kind of let the things reign over us, is how she described it in a session last week. Like the stuff that maybe used to bug me, it just kind of like rolls off my back now. And that's a lot of the work that I've done to recognize my beliefs, other people's beliefs, how they're intersecting. So I'm going to share that stuff with you guys. I'm also going to share obviously what I eat, how I'm moving, but just kind of take you through the process. As someone that's never focused on doing something to focus on weight loss, it's going to be a bit different for me to go through it. So I'm just going to be open and honest with you guys. So if you want to follow my journey, single mom of 3 kids, and see what happens, days with my kids will be different than days by myself. Activity levels will change depending. I'm able to get back out and do activity, which is great. My activity was really limited. I was afraid I would get dizzy. I've been downhill skiing, cross-country skiing. It's not the breath. So I had someone trying to talk to me about downhill skiing and saying, well, you have to remember to breathe, or like that's really like taxing if you're cross-country ski. How can you do that? It's not the breath at all. I know how to breathe. It's the what happens in my brain when I move a lot. Is sometimes I can get easily disorientated. And that's where the nausea and stuff comes up. Some of it comes up with screen time too, so that's something I'm working on. So all this to say, you're gonna see me, you're gonna see more of the real me. I'm gonna take you guys through my journey. If you have any specific questions, if I'm doing something you wanna see it, let me know. You know, I see people posting like minus 1.3 pounds like each week or whatever. I don't know if I'm going to focus on that. I'm not a big before and after. As a regulated health professional, it's not something that, I guess I've been trained more clinical. It's not something that really, you know, for confidentiality and things, it's not something really that I've ever focused on. It's not something I believe that we need to focus on. because we can get health behavior changes, get great results without having to like go to extremes. So I'm going to show you my method and it works. My clients get results. The accountability is a big piece. So this is me being accountable by showing up with you guys and saying, this is what I did today and this is where I'm focused. So I'm going to be real. If you have questions or if you want to know how I did something, if you want to know what I ate today, whatever, just pop it in the comments, send me a DM, and I'm going to walk you guys through my process and my journey. All right, that's it. That's all. If you guys have questions, let me know. Lots of stress in the last few years. I'm at a place where I feel the happiest I've been in a long time. I'm ready to move forward and get back to feeling my best. And for me, it's not about weight loss per se, though it's, I'm 20 pounds over my kind of usual weight. So that will be a goal, but it's not the only goal. My goal is to feel better. My goal is to be able to keep up with my kids. I'm so happy I'm able to ski with them and I don't feel tired or lethargic. So you'll see how I walk through keeping my energy up all day, the healthy habits that I focus on, the elimination that I'll probably have to do to kind of reset my gut and get it a little bit happier as well. So I'll take you through the process. It's not going to be anything like lose 20 pounds in 10 days. It's going to be within your lifestyle. What can you do? And what can I do within my lifestyle to get back to that healthier version? So that's it, guys. I'm keeping it real. If you have questions, let me know and I will update you soon. Follow me more on Instagram. I'm over there doing more of my content, but I'll pop into this page as well. So that's it. It wasn't easy. It was scary. I kind of like procrastinated all morning to come on, but I feel better and this is how I'm going to move forward. And I feel like I'm going to serve you guys. I'm going to be my best client example and you guys are going to walk through the process with me. All right. If you have questions, say, comment below. If you came on just now, go back and watch the beginning because I'm sharing with you where I am, how I got here, and what I'm going to do now. I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a great Valentine's Day. Do something for yourself. So I am going cross-country skiing. That's my way to show myself love today. Being on here and being real with you guys and telling you really what's been happening, that is showing myself love too, because I'm able to show up and be the real me, and the people that need the information are going to find me. All right, guys, that's it. Oh, I've got you on Instagram and Facebook, so I'm going to try to exit at the same time. Bye, guys.